Listen to the Vibes, hosted by Coyote Knight. Listen in for some positivity and good times. The views and opinions of our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the host or the Vibes broadcast network. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hello, everyone. This is our launching episode of Listen to the Vibes, and I'm your host, Coyote, and I have Mr. Chris Hopkins with us, who's going to be doing a show called Hop Topics. How are you doing, Mr. Chris?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody out there in Field of Vibes land out there?
Man, things are just going so good, I can't hardly stand it.
That's a good situation to be in. It's good to be on the show. It's great to been working with you on Into the Pit. The earlier podcast we had going to the Vibes Network. Man, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to my podcast, Hop Topics, as well as all the other podcasts coming up on the channel.
Yeah, we decided that we would kind of kick things off by introducing everybody that's going to be on the show or on their own podcasts and let everybody kind of get to know you. And for those of you that don't know Chris, he
which is most of the planet right now.
I don't know about that, man. But Chris used to kind of co-host Into the Pit with me, and then life got busy for him and our schedules kind of got out of whack, but he's going to be doing his own show, and I think every once in a while he might actually let me slip in on a show and vice versa.
Oh, for sure. Sure.
But I'm proud to say that Chris is more than just a friend to me. He's like a brother, and he's moving to Texas, and I can't wait because I'm going to hang out and get in trouble with him. Our wives are going to hate us, but
yeah, I'm super looking forward to getting to Texas. Working on getting stuff booked, but I'm really trying to plan on being really not stationary, being all over Texas as much as possible for at least a 5 or 6 month period, trying to get as many shows as I can. I want to definitely hit Austin and Dallas, Fort Worth, as well as like Galveston, Houston area. I just gotta, I know you can get like firearms. You can get a pistol at Walmart down there. So,
oh yeah.
soon as I get to Texarkana, I'm gonna get me some Yosemite Sam guns, and then I'll be official Texan for a while.
Chris, tell us where you were born and raised.
That's a great question. Okay, I was born in Columbus, Ohio. My dad's side of the family is from Columbus, Ohio. My mom's side of the family is from the south suburbs of Chicago. So I was born in Columbus, and then I think I lived in the Chicago area from age like 4 to 10 to 12. And then there was some back and forth, like a lot of back and forth. And then I finished high school in Columbus. So the combination of Columbus, Ohio, and the south suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, sweet. And how in the heck did you ever get into comedy?
It's funny. I've been performing for a while. I used to rap. I've done interview and writing covering mixed martial arts. And I had a friend of mine, and then my girlfriend, Jamie, kept saying that, like, you're silly, is like, you should just try stand-up comedy. And I kind of thought about it. And then I was watching Joey Diaz. I listened to Joey Diaz on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about it because I was kind of interested. And he said, you just got to get up there. He said, you got to get that first 5 minutes over with. He's like, just got to go up and suck. So it's it'll be 3 years on March 22nd that I went up and I did my first 5 minutes at JJ's Bohemia here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I want to thank Ryan Darling and Ben Dalby for being the first guys that put me on stage. Dave Hanna is the host right now. It's called the comedy the open mic is called Free Kittens. So it's a real cool thing. Every Wednesday at 9 here in Chattanooga, that's where I went on stage. And just being able to be connected with a really good comedy scene here in Chattanooga and a lot of helpful people in Atlanta and a lot of opportunities. I was able to kind of get the ball rolling. I was had some free time. My kids are getting older, and just went after it.
Well, you said the first 5 minutes, just get up there and suck. I've done
Yeah.
that for 40 years. When is it going to be over for me?
I think that's one of the things in anything you want to do, whether it's creative or work or sports, is a lot of people, they want to do things that they're that come easy to them, or if they have periods where they suck, they get discouraged and they quit or they don't give full effort. And sometimes you gotta, in wrestling, and there was even a line of t-shirts, it's called Embrace the Grind, where you gotta, and in the military they do call it Embrace the Suck. It's like you gotta be able to find the good, or you be able to laugh through the bad times and keep going with the same enthusiasm, because you're gonna learn and you'll be able to wind up being better on the other end, stronger, smarter. Is like you're gonna pick up attributes. If you're going through something that's sucky, that means that you're actually testing your something. If you're just going through just something that's a comfort zone, it's like you're just gonna be that same person, and you're gonna look up 5 or 10 years and you're gonna regret it because you haven't done shit with yourself.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I stepped out of that comfort zone when I left the Houston area, and it seems like I've thrived since I've moved up here close to Austin.
And everybody I know that live in Houston say Houston is uncomfortable.
Houston sucks. So can you remember your first joke on stage?
Yeah, actually I do. I made fun of my appearance because I had on a white t-shirt and a Raiders hat, and I said I looked like homeboy number 3 from every hood movie that they show repeatedly on BET on the weekends.
That's a good one. I gotta remember that.
I made a joke about Hillary Clinton.
That's easy to do.
Oh, this was terrible. I don't know if this was pretty lewd. I don't know if this one's a podcast ready. it's
Go
bad.
for it.
I said that Hillary Clinton was a result of DVP, and it said, for you don't know, that's double vaginal penetration between Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Senator Palpatine in Star Wars, and Suge Knight from Death Row Records.
And you make it hard for me to finish this, aren't you? Oh my gosh. So
I like to offend everybody. I got some shit to piss everybody off. It gotta be that way.
That's the one thing that I really appreciate about you, Chris, is that you're not politically correct and you don't care who knows it.
Yeah. I just rather be correct.
Hey, people are just so sensitive nowadays, and you can't say anything without people getting so overly offended. And, I remember the days of comedy when I was a kid. It didn't matter if the comedian was black, white, Hispanic, whatever. They just said what was on their mind, and it was funny. And if you got offended by it, then the heck with it,
What's funny, though, is like, I think it's really underestimated or really not looked at it. The importance of like racy comedy, like, because you had a lot of the tension that we're going through now in like the 60s, where there was people, society was changing, different people wanting rights. There was just a lot of clash, and I think the shit that was able to heal a lot of it is everybody being able to laugh at the same shit. People like Pryor and Carlin and Kinnison. People being able to not take themselves so seriously and laugh. And then when you saw that people were all laughing at the same thing, then, you had something to go from. But I think that the reason that there's so much, I guess the best way that I can describe it is noise, because it's not a majority of people. Because if you go out in society, you see people getting along, like all different nationalities. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I already said, I'm from Ohio and Chicago. It's like, I see so many people getting along here in Chattanooga, and it's the buckle of the Bible Belt. But you got these people that are online or on TV in these little silos, and they might be 10% on each extreme, but they're the ones with the microphones and the cameras, and they're screaming loud. And to be honest, the bad thing on both sides is they don't really give a shit about anybody. They don't care about the actual welfare of people. They just want their egos fed and they want to make money. They want eyes. They want you to listen to them because on both sides, it's like a lot of times they'll get fact checked. They don't even care about the facts. They just keep rolling over it. So it's really, people have to understand how much money there is in having people pissed off, agitated, and scared. And once you be like, you want to know the real news. You want to know if, the nuclear power plant is blowing up, if, what war we're in this week, if there's going to be a tornado, shit like that. But to just sit back and watch 24-hour news and to just be perpetually pissed off when the sun is shining outside, kids is playing, dogs is barking, they still make ice cream. You can go dance to music. One thing that I said that, I've had, different interactions, and everybody's been like this growing up. You got groups where, I call it out. There's groups that I wasn't racially comfortable with. I was racist toward. And then it's like, until you actually get to meet one of these people and become friends with them, then you see, okay, oh, they're people too. But as long as it's somebody that's over there that I don't know nobody like that, I don't interact with anybody like that, hell yeah, it's gonna be like, fuck them. I don't know them. It's like, you can blow them up and cut their heads off. But then until you run into them and actually know them as people, then you be like, okay, that dude's an asshole. I don't hate to hate all. You can hate the assholes. There's assholes of every stripe, every nationality. Now I do, kind of believe too that if you come into a country, you should always want to be, keep your heritage and your identity, but you should want to be able to blend in and become a part of the new place too. Like there's issues in, Ohio as far as, different nationalities, and, I know in Michigan too, you got it where, mixing the cultures is a good thing, but if you kind of feel you want to fight a culture war on away soil, then it's usually going to wind up bad for you.
Yeah. Well, you don't let go of your identity, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you also respect the customs of wherever you're at.
Yeah.
But,
And I think for the most part that goes on, but like I said, it's like you got those clowns on either end that just want to scream and yell fire in a crowded movie theater just to agitate people so they can try and get some wallets and trip people on the way out of the movie theater.
I think we've forgotten how to laugh at ourselves too.
Yeah. Because everybody, I think it's, we're too busy laughing at each other. It's comedy got from where it was funny and then it just got into just cruelty. Like there's whole shows of people falling out and hurting themselves, and physical comedy is cool, but it's like you can't do a whole show of people hitting their nuts on shit.
Mm-hmm.
The movie Idiocracy is coming true, and I thought it was funny at first, but it's like it's on an accelerated path now.
It is. I have no problem if somebody wants to make up a joke about me or, my race or whatever. It's comedy. Get over it.
And see, what I've found is that, people will laugh. There's certain groups, there's a bunch of groups that are approved that you can laugh at all day, and there's certain groups that, oh, you better not make fun of them. You hear a pin drop. But I almost feel like, in a way, sometimes you got to sprinkle a lot of comedy too to make people think is you've got to make them slightly uncomfortable. I do shows and, from the black audiences, white audiences, mixed, conservative. I'm doing Atlanta, and then I'm doing Chattanooga, Pikeville, Kentucky, and Bristol, Tennessee, all in like the same, 4-week stretch. And everybody's people. I mean, it's all America, but there's differences in both places. And I like telling jokes that in both spots that I want to see how willing people are to laugh at themselves. And for the most part, people laugh at themselves. People are a lot better if you kind of bring it out in humor, but you have to be respectful. You can't be insulting or be name pointing. There has to be some type of meeting point.
Oh yeah, definitely. My whole thing is you can joke and make fun of somebody without just being downright mean about it.
Yeah.
And this world is just, you can't say anything without people getting so offended. And I'm sorry, and I'll probably lose some people already, but I'm kind of like Morgan Freeman. if you want to get over racism, stop talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, or not even stop. It's like you can't cry foul at every incident. It's like
Thank you.
save the outrage for the big shit. It's like don't worry about an athlete or somebody not getting an award when we got dirty water in Flint and the school system. Is like if you really care about actual people, do something that's gonna help the people. Don't go screaming at every minuscule thing, and then when you have the opportunity to change it by voting or doing something, is do something about it. It's like if you just want to just scream and yell online and talk about this, that, and the third, but you're really not active, it's you're just really a detriment. It's like I just think it's a real epidemic of people liking to hear themselves talk because like we're doing this easy. Everybody's got a cell phone. You can just spout bullshit into the universe and just flood like Facebook and Twitter and social media, and then just like you've got all these people who are lost and looking for something to believe in, and they'll just start sharing it. And then you look up and it's like, why do people believe this bullshit? It's like, oh, well, somebody's sharing this. And it's like, it's to the point where there are no standards where, people can create their own little universes and people call it speaking their truth. And there's man, I tell you which truth is math. 2 + 2 is 4. You don't believe that shit? Go to the bank and see how that work out. You try speaking your truth to the bank or the electric company, and you see how that shit work out. You'll be, in the cold and in the dark, and that'll be the truth for your ass.
Yeah, no kidding. I find it kind of funny that I look back at whenever I was growing up and all of our friends would get together. We stayed so tight because we made fun of each other all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
But
come
then
on.
when somebody else outside your circle made fun of your friend, you were trying to knock their head off, and then you was gonna talk shit about them, but then that would be your friend that's like, hey, you can ride my bike to school, and it just was. I think I guess that our generation we had stuff that I guess there was still hills to climb and stuff left to hunt and do, and now these kids there's nothing for them to do. It's like they're just stuck inside. Their whole thing is online. We used to go outside and actually like film and, take pictures of what we did. And they just take pictures of just being inside. Like there's a whole thing of people watching other people play video games and I guess that's cool, but at a certain point, it's got to get to the point where it starts to be more constructive instead of destructive.
Yeah, today it's like, oh, look at this picture of my pancakes with the strawberries and bananas and blueberries on top of it.
Hey, I fucks with those pictures. I like food pictures.
We were talking last night about how we would go get a group of kids and we'd go to a field and play baseball or kickball until the lights were out, and then you went home and we had a blast. And now
that's one of the things that I'll say that I like about Chattanooga. One of my friends, I go into his neighborhood and his kids still play outside. They still, have the group of kids that they play in the field, and they play kickball and football, and they got the little basketball net out there, and it's the same group of kids. And I've seen them when it gets warm, they'll drag a lawnmower up and down the block and cutting old people's grass. So there's still some pockets where it goes on. It's just not as visual because the kids that are outside playing, and the kids that are on the internet are on the internet. So,
right. Oh, let's get all our friends together and we'll play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Or whatever those games are. I only know that one because I see it at Walmart all the time.
I mean, and those kids, the kids that go outside and play, they play Fortnite, but they'll play it for 1 or 2 hours a day. They don't just sit in the house like from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, all day Saturday, just playing video games.
Yeah.
They'll go outside and play. They'll have hobbies. And that's kind of the thing too. It's and I don't want to sound like the grumpy old man yelling at a cloud, because it's like, every generation things change. So you have to kind of be respectful of, the newer things too. But it's just maintaining balance and everything. It's like they're missing out on, like, I almost kind of look at it as like, why would you just play Madden when you could go outside and play football and you could fall down, you could be in the grass yourself, no matter how bad you suck. You go outside and be all tired and stuff, and then come inside and play Madden. You might suck playing football outside, but be able to beat everybody's ass in Madden. But you should at least go outside and get grass stains for yourself once or twice.
Hey, I suck at both, so.
Suck is a relative term because, Man, I just know from sports and stuff, everybody thinks they're great, and until somebody bigger, faster, and stronger comes along that makes you look stupid. You're always great until somebody really great shows up, and then you're like,
You know, one story I always tell is that I could not wait until I could play football when I got to school. And, you know, I made the football team and we're out practicing and everything. And I used to think I was so good because when I was at home, you know, I'd catch the ball or, you know, I could run and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh man, I was so awesome. And anyway, the story goes, I don't know if you know who Quentin Tarantino is, but
oh yeah, he used to play for Texas A&M linebacker.
yes, and he was known for the hit. Well,
yeah,
he's also the one that made me realize that football was not my future.
Oh, you got hit. Oh, I forgot you were in Texas. You got hit by Quentin Tarantino.
We went to school together, and we were practicing, and he laid me out on the field, and I was like, nope. This ain't my game. I think I'll stay home and watch it on television.
Man, there's a whole different brand of hoss. Not horse, but hoss down there in Texas. Y'all got high school linebackers that's 6'2", 240. That's a defensive tackle in Ohio.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
No, some schools in Ohio. Now you got some of the bigger schools like the private schools and like some of the, like there's a school in Cleveland called Cleveland Glenville where a lot of the Ohio State players came from. And Columbus is starting to produce some bigger talent. But man, I had a whole bunch of little like small like little scrappy kids in the high schools I went to. So we had little bitty, you know, just fat. We just started fat kids on the line. But then we wound up playing some teams that, you know, had some legit D1 talents. And I could imagine it's one thing that, you know, play against some guys that are backups for Ohio State. It's a whole nother thing to get hit by Quentin Tarantino.
Boy, I'm going to tell you, I saw my past, present, and future pass by my eyes when he hit me.
I'd have quit the spot. I'd have took my head like, this is some bullshit.
I was smiling, but my face was on the other side of my head when I got up.
Oh my God.
But
and that's like you about my age, that's like the mid 80s, 90s in Texas, isn't it?
Yeah, it was about the mid 80s.
Oh my man, oh my God, just monsters. Like a who's who in the NFL.
But let me tell you something. Quentin is one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. And when he's not busy and he has time to talk, you know, and it's been quite a long time, but I've talked to him, you know, just to kind of catch up and see how things are going. But, you know, it's nice to know that people like him have not lost themselves just because they went to the NFL and, you know, they got some money in their pocket. He's just one of the guys, you know.
Like some people say, they said money doesn't make you, it just makes more who you are. You know, people who are good with their money, they do good things with it. And then people who are dumb with their money, you know, they go out and they get like platinum teeth.
Or you're like me and buy too many pop figures.
Hey, there's no such thing as too many pop figures.
Well, thank God for that. But will you tell my wife that? Because she doesn't believe it.
I need a platinum pop figure. Shit. Oh.
And they've got a whole new line of the Office figures coming out that I have to have.
My daughter Darian, like she is like the biggest Office fan. She's actually got a couple Office tattoos.
Oh no, false.
I'm gonna show her this, and then she's gonna show you. She's got a tattoo of the stapler with the Jello in it. The stapler in the Jello.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love that show. I've already gone through it 3 times all the way through, and I'll probably start again here in the next day or two.
I'm a big BoJack Horseman fan. I think that's going to be my next tattoo is BoJack.
BoJack?
Yes.
You know, I have yet to see that show.
Oh, man, you got to start it from beginning to end. You'll pee. That's like the best. It's like the most serious cartoon, and you'll look at yourself and it's like, this cartoon is like making me cry. It's like, okay, this cartoon's making me laugh, man. It's one of the best put together shows ever. You want to start from season 1. I've never identified with a character more than BoJack Horseman. It's almost scary.
I'm gonna do that. I have to. Oh, and I have started watching the UK version of The Office. So if you have Hulu,
I like the American version. I can't get into the UK version.
it's funny, but I guess because I'm so used to the American version, to me, it's funnier.
Yeah.
I love the fact that comedy can bring people together like this. And, when I first met you, I was going through and I found you on Facebook, and I was checking out all your stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, I got to reach out to this guy. And then we got to talking, and before we knew it, we got to be friends. And I just wish that more people would kind of come together like that and get away from all this political crap that's going on right now.
Well,
And
hopefully, I think that's what we're kind of lighting that fuse. I think that's what this and the whole Vibes Network and everybody that's a part of this is about. I think it's kind of to the point where everybody's really tired of all the separation. People just want to be able to laugh and work and live together. But there has to be, just like there's leaders in negative stuff, there has to be leaders and people leading the charge as far as like, hey man, it's like let's cut out all the crap and just get along and be happy again, because life is too short. Everybody's got problems.
We spend so much time watching this crap on the news, and they're trying to separate us. I'm sorry, but it seems like the media is trying its best to separate us.
It's documented. I mean, it's a lot easier to control people, put in neatly in the one or two different boxes. That's why I think it's kind of funny, and they're so terrified of like the youth now, because there's like multiracial, 15 different genders. It's like trying to herd cats. It's like us. We're easy to manipulate. We're used to like being, told what to believe on TV. You can get us into one or two boxes easy. These little young ass kids with the purple hair, we don't know if these clowns is coming or going.
Dude, I spent a lot of time in my downtime as a youth watching Bugs Bunny and all these Tom and Jerry. But I never once wanted to go and hit my brother in the head with an anvil or a hammer.
Yeah. Not once.
I may have thought about it, but I never did it.
I tried to order the Acme rocket skates.
Now that would have been something cool. I mean, we had our own way of getting in trouble and doing stupid stuff, but we didn't let TV influence us like it does nowadays. I think the problem is when they took away Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, well, they just moved them to different channels with shitty cartoons.
Right now,
it's like Nickelodeon, Disney, and it's like all the cartoons are shitty.
Most of the cartoons are like 30-minute commercials for toys and video games.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had the Super Friends and Wacky Racers and all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons and Woody Woodpecker and all that stuff.
Hanna-Barbera was great.
Dude, that was the bomb. I mean, you couldn't go wrong. If it was Hanna-Barbera, it was going to be a good cartoon.
But you know what? It's like you've got kids that are in their like teens and 20s that watched that there's a channel called Cartoon Network Boomerang that shows nothing but the old stuff. It's like people still watch those cartoons to this day.
Yeah. I find that a lot of kids, they think the stuff that we liked back then was lame and stupid. It's not, so flashy like it is now. But when I was a kid, I still watched the cartoons from the 1930s, 1940s, and I thought they were cool.
I like Popeye, like in the older Bugs Bunny ones. Like my daughter, like they like a lot of the older cartoons, but then they'll watch the manga and anime like with the subtitles, and man, the animation on it is great. It's just I can't get into. I need something that's gonna make me laugh in like 30 seconds. Somebody's gonna have to fall off or something. A cat's gonna need to chase a mouse and get hit in the head with an anvil, because I don't have time to like look at the backstory and know why. And then I gotta learn a whole nother language, and I gotta keep up with the subtitles. And I don't know what his voice inflection is saying. And then this dude just lit up. It's like, why is he like made out of ice and why can he fly? It's like, oh, well, you have to go back to season 2. I ain't got time for season 2. I'm trying to smoke this joint and laugh. Can we watch Scooby Doo?
That's right.
You don't have to go back to season 2 for Scooby Doo. You know exactly what you're gonna get every episode. You don't have to go like, well, what ghost did they catch last week? It's like, it don't matter. They're catching a new one this week.
You can't help but believe that Shaggy and Scooby had to been smoking a little something.
They was smoking a lot of something.
because, I mean, Shaggy looked like a beatnik.
Yeah.
Always had the munchies, and he never knew what the hell was going on.
I think he was on LSD because he was talking to dogs and seeing ghosts.
And dogs could talk. Wrong.
They was all in a little something. They all lived in a van, drove around with a dog, and just was chasing ghosts.
Dude, I saw one the other day that was posted on Facebook, and it was what was it called? Oh my God. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids. And it was it was just like Scooby Doo, except they all played music and rode around in a fancy car. I had totally forgot about that cartoon. And also somebody showed a clip of the Super Kid Power Hour or something like that. And it was tied in with Shazam, but it was all these kids from high school that were
Shazam. I mean, I might need to go check that one out.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact name of it, but I'm like, dang, those were cartoons, man.
Wow. Well, hey, when is this going to air?
Well, as soon as I can get it edited and out there. So hopefully by either the weekend or beginning of next week.
That's real cool. That's cool. I kind of like this setting. I got to work at 4, so I'm about to hop off here, grab something to eat. But then I want to do another one like this because I'm thinking about doing my next episode of Hot Topics for football. So the next one, we'll do a football setup show.
Sweet. Well, Chris, I know you're a busy man. I saw your lineup, and boy, you got a lot going on.
And then that doesn't even count. I got some open mics between there that I'm basically like kind of asked to show up at. I got like 2 more shows that I forgot. So this next 5 or 6 weeks is kind of my make it or break it week. And it kind of is like, hey, I deserve to be paid every time I hit the stage. So if I can make this, if I make this work, then I'll put me in the income range I want to be in.
Well, I'm afraid you won't get paid for this interview, though.
Oh, no, that's actually, we're going to wind up getting that later. We're building a brand. People are going to wind up paying us to be a part of this.
Well, I like the fact that we can sit here and we can talk about these things and get it out there, because the purpose of the Vibes Broadcast Network is to bring people together and stop that separation.
Exactly.
And so I'm hoping people will listen and they will get the same kind of idea that we have, that it's time to come together and make this a better country without the media ruining it all for us.
Yeah, just to make a buck. Well, I'll be in touch with you, man. I'm about to go in here and hop in the shower and then roll one.
All right. Later, brother. Thank you.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you.
All right, man. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network and on Instagram at The Vibes Broadcast.